Okay, everybody, we are live. I have Kevin with me. First, I want to thank everybody for tuning in for this. I have been really excited. I spent the last 5 minutes cleaning my office. Everyone always says, "Mike, you have a really clean office," but I don't. Outside of this, it's a total mess. But today's show is dedicated to Kevin, which, if you don't know Kevin by now, you've probably been living under a rock. Kevin has been all over LinkedIn for the past year. I've had a lot of just one-on-one, we've become really good friends, I think, over this past year. Hopefully, Kevin, you would agree on that. But we've talked a lot. We've had a lot of really good conversations. And I can tell you, it's just like Kevin's like just a good guy. You can have a conversation with him about anything. So we're going to do some Q&As. Not really sure where the conversation is going to go. I don't really have like an agenda for it. I really just want it to be an open conversation. We have some topics, but so Kevin, I'm going to ask him a couple questions here, but he just landed his first role in cybersecurity, came right from help desk. But for those who don't know Kevin's help desk, he's like golden platinum help desk support he's been for such a long time. And the thing is, he has helped so many people through his journey get to where they are. He's put out courses, which I'll let him talk about that here, but I could talk on and on about it, but we're going to let him talk a little bit. So first, I'll give myself an intro. For those who don't know me, my name is Mike Miller. I'm currently a vCISO at Appalachia Technologies out of Pennsylvania. And I'm on the LinkedIn platform. Some of you may know me from there. And again, I have Kevin. So Kevin, I'm going to just have you give an intro of yourself, buddy. It's yours.
Yeah, sure. So if you guys don't know me, my name is Kevin. You call me Kevin Apollinario. I'm also known on YouTube as KevTech IT Support. I do a lot of training on help desk, IT support, service desk, desktop support. I talk about customer service because for me, it's like you got to have, if you're going to work IT support, you got to have those soft skills. You got to have the customer service skills. Extremely important, especially when you're working with C-level folks, you're working with executives, and you got to be like a likable person. And you're working support, you got to be a likable and approachable person, because I have worked with a lot of people that do support and they're like so unapproachable. They make you feel dumb. They make you feel silly. They make you feel like they make you feel dumb and out of place. So I try not to do that. I try to make you feel comfortable when you're around me, especially when I'm helping you with your computer, your laptop. I even build a conversation with you. If you're an executive, like, how's your day? Good morning. What's going on? What are you going for lunch? Whatever. We have a conversation. So yeah. Just a little bit about me is basically I'm do IT support. I have a course in Udemy. I have 8,000 students on Udemy. I have about 28,000 followers on LinkedIn, and it's a pleasure for me to be here with Mike, just speaking it up and just throwing things out here and see what happens.
This is fantastic. Kevin is definitely a conversationalist. One of the biggest problems we have is that when we talk, we just run out of time because we just want to keep talking. But I've enjoyed talking to him so much over this past year and getting to know him. So let's just get straight to it, man. So first of all, you came from help desk and you landed your first job in cybersecurity. But before we get to that, tell me about your journey, your technical journey to get to where. So you're in help desk now, but again, I'm just going to call it platinum help desk because, like, if I was working for a company and I call it tech support and I have Kevin walk in, like, I know the job is being done right. So just because of the way he is and the information that he puts out. So tell me about that journey. And we're going to talk a little later about your YouTube channel and stuff like that. But tell me about the journey of how you've grown so much through tech support, even how you got there.
Yeah. So I always been a soft skills person, especially when I worked in a restaurant. So I have about 12 years of restaurant. I have 4 years of the NYPD. And I transferred my soft skills over to IT, and I got my first job working for the Department of Education. And then I slowly moved over to MSP companies. MSP companies is like a fire hose of information. If you're working in an MSP company, they give you so much stuff. Like they give you access to like everything. They don't care if you break it or not. It's just crazy. You get in trouble, obviously, if you mess with certain things. But an MSP company, they give you access to a wide variety of things. For the MSP company, I had about 8 to 9 clients that I work with, and just so you guys get familiarized with what that means. Basically, you have a client, and that client has about 500 to 1,000 people. So I have 8 clients. You can imagine how busy I am, and I'm traveling from client to client, helping them out. And then I got my experience doing that, and then I transferred over to hedge funds. And then now I've been in hedge funds for a while. I've been in the hedge fund space for a while, working with executives, C-level folks. Same thing, learning the soft skills, like using my soft skills, utilizing them in a really positive way. Because when you go and you work with executives, or when you work IT support and you're setting up a video call and you have 40 people staring at you, you're in the video room and then nothing works, right? And they're just staring at you like, this is not working. Why is it not working, Kev? Why is it not working? They're all panicky, right? And with me, it's not, I don't get panicked. I don't get that I don't get scared. I don't get intimidated by it. I'm just, okay, yeah, this is not working. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out how to fix it, right? So I would literally just put them in a different room and then we troubleshoot it later on. So being in IT support and being in desktop support, it's crazy because you get a lot of different error messages you've never seen in your life. It's like so many like error messages. You get weird things, you get wonky things. And Mike, I know like we have these other people that are sysadmins, network admin, and sometimes they don't know how to fix it. And the ticket goes back to you and then you fix it. And it's like a success story right there. Like, yes, I fixed it. The sysadmin couldn't figure it out, but I figured it out, So it's just like so much, like it's like so much involved when working IT support, because you may have access to just password reset. You may have access to a little bit of everything. Really depends on the company. But yeah, I really enjoy being in support, and now I'm in security now. So
and tech support, people downplay tech support, right? Mm-hmm. Tech support, that's how I started. I started reading out of a book in tech support. I had no clue what I was doing. I worked in a leather factory prior to that. I had no clue what I was doing. So if you look at last year's Verizon breach report, over 80% of breaches happen because of what we'll call the human element, meaning humans making mistakes, misclicking something, right? So you get to work with the end users, which really us humans, we're the front lines of cybersecurity as a whole, right? Let's see, if over 80% of breaches happen because of the human element, well, then our job is to help us humans who make mistakes make less mistakes. So how much have you learned, or how much has that been part of your journey, just helping people and even learning how people, because everybody's different. Some users are patient, some users, I'm sure you've run across an impatient user, right? And you have to explain to them, your computer's not working because you clicked something you shouldn't have, right? So how has just working with people helped you in this journey?
It's definitely helped me a lot, because when you work with some executives, you have to know how to explain something in a non-tech way. So some of these executives, they're the most tech savvy person in the world. All they know how to do is log into their computer, put their password in, and just do their job. That's it. They don't know anything outside of that. So you have to know how to talk to them. Those people that are executives, C-level folks, you're going to have a customer that's extremely upset, right? Like they're angry all the time. They're having a bad day. The thing is with me too, is I don't take it personal. Like people get personal when it comes to IT support. They take it personal with people. Like I don't take it personal. Like they're having a bad day. It's okay. Like I had a user or a client that I work with. He was having an extremely bad day. He was just so angry, upset. And I try to break the ice. I do that. I always break the ice. So I had someone upset and angry at me, and I told him, okay. And I fixed the problem afterwards, by the way. But he said, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. I already know for Christmas I'm buying you a punching bag because you're always upset. So I'm having these conversations with the user, and the user just like he was upset and angry at me, and then all of a sudden he's happy. He's like, no, I'm not mad at you, Kev. I'm not mad. I'm mad at the computer, not you, Kev. Don't take it that personal.
It's amazing how patience and being able to just understand people and relate to people can be such a powerful thing in IT, because everyone thinks that, you have to know X, Y, and Z. You have to be so smart. You have to know all of the hardware. You have to know all of the software, when really one of the most important pieces is being able to listen and understand, because everybody has a different story, right? You might have an end user that came in and they're taking out all their frustrations on you, but you don't know what happened to them that previous day or even that morning. So it's about being patient with them, right? And learning from them as well. So we're going to get to the cybersecurity stuff, but I really love digging into this help desk stuff, because again, people don't understand how important it is. So with that said, the next thing I want to focus on is So you have a YouTube channel, right? It's
Mhm.
just a wee little small channel with just a couple subscribers, right? You only have a couple, but no, all kidding aside, Kevin has, I believe, what are you at? 43,000,
Nah,
something like that?
41,000.
41,000 subscribers. So he has used his YouTube channel to literally just help other people reach the same level that he is at. Why do you do that? Why are you doing that for people?
I do things for free because all jokes aside, I grew up extremely poor. So just being poor, and now I don't want to be poor anymore. So I
Yep.
got into IT because of that, but also because I wanted to get back. I do. So for people that watch my videos and stuff like that, like I do like volunteer work for military veterans, for women in IT, for black men in tech. I do a lot of different things, and I do it for free because I was serving myself for the NYPD. I did 4 years in NYPD, and I want to give back to people because I know that's extremely hard to get a job in IT. I know that people would charge you an arm and a leg to teach what I'm teaching. People would charge you an arm and a leg. I don't do that. I do it for free because I just want to help people. At the end of the day, I'm approachable and I'm a human being just like everyone else, and I'm just trying to help people. I'm trying to help people get into IT because IT is so like I feel like anyone that is outside of IT, I feel like when you go into IT, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna be a lot more financially set as far as money is concerned. But it's not for the money. It's because I just like working with people. I love working with the technologies, and I want everyone to be successful. I'm not like a guy that doesn't want. I'm not a guy that you work with in the IT department that doesn't teach you anything or likes to hide the knowledge. I like to help people break into IT. So that's just how I am. My mindset is like that. I'm always gonna do things for free because I want to give back because people have given back to me. So I have to pay it forward because people have helped me in my journey when I got started in IT. So I got to pay it
There's no
forward.
better adrenaline rush than someone in, and I know you've had it because you've shared screenshots on LinkedIn this, all year. There's no better feeling than to have someone send you an inbox message that says, "Hey, I kept moving forward and your courses helped," or whatever it is. Like, I could tell for you, like, that's an adrenaline rush. That's worth it right there. And you've had how many signups for your class that you put out on Udemy?
So I have right now
Thousands.
8,300 students.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, like I said, Kevin is he's that platinum guy that, again, if he walks in your office because something's not working, like, you don't get any better than that. So, all right, so let's go to the next topic. So I knew as good as you were and the way you've been putting yourself out there on this platform, that it literally, and I've told you this past year, haven't I? I said I'm like, dude, it's just a matter of time before you land in cybersecurity. So let me ask, when did you make the decision that, you know what, I'm gonna make that crossover?
So it was this year. So this year I made that decision. And the reason why I made that decision is because I wanted to try something new. Like at some point when you work, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but at some point when you do desktop support, IT support, it becomes very repetitive. So you don't learn anything,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, in my job, I'm just not learning anything. I'm like, this is like, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. So it's like, I already know, like my eyes closed. I have my eyes closed. I could walk you through how to do something, how to fix it without me remoting into your machine. I was getting bored to death. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to go into something different.
They
And
say
yeah,
that, and I've said this: if you're the smartest guy in the room, you need to find another room. And I feel like in the field you were in, you were definitely the smartest guy in the room. So I feel like you made a great move by, you were at the top of your game. So, like, for me, it's like, all right, you needed to be challenged more. So you made the decision this year to cross over. Does that sound right?
yes, it's exactly right. I
Yeah.
don't I had to do it because like at the end of the day, like I cannot be obsolete. I don't like to be obsolete. And the benefit of me that everyone's watching, the benefit of me that if I go to something new, I always teach it. So like if I'm
Yeah.
gonna work security, I'm gonna teach it. So everyone's gonna get gems here because of me. That's the benefit of having me on security side.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, even in my experience, I mean, I've been in this field for 25 years, and I honestly feel like the most learning that I did in my career was literally the first 3 years when I was in tech support, because I understand the frustrations with users. I understand what they go through. I understand they don't like change. I understand that they want convenience over security. So, like, how do we make that? How do we jive that together and make that so that it works for everybody? So definitely understand, where you're coming from there. So
I was
with
gonna
that
say,
said, yeah,
sorry,
go
Mike.
ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, Mike. I think the one thing that's very important. People that are watching that are in help desk IT support, they're trying to get into cybersecurity. The one thing that's very important in this is understanding the end user. The end user needs the organization, what they need. Why are we doing this? Why are we making changes? How are we making changes? Not making a change on the back end on the security side, whether it's sysadmin or something else. Well, with interrupting the user while they're working production, we don't do that, right? So those things are very important. If you understand how that works, and if you know how to talk about that in a job interview, that's going to help you out as well. So that's very important. That's extremely important because we do all these things on the back end, and we want to make sure the user is aware of it. We also don't want to interrupt their work. We don't want to interrupt the workflow. Plus, they have technologies or software that they're using, and we're adding security on top of it, and that's going to interrupt the workload as well, right? So when they have these things, when you put these third-party tools on the user's machine or on the user's computer, they're going to get pissed off at you because they can't do their job, right? Because you're adding like Splunk or Zscaler or these third-party tools, and they're probably blocking you from doing certain things or trying to go to certain websites, right? You have to understand the business use and the user needs. That's extremely important. I think being in IT support, that helped me understand that. So now that I understand that, I could go into cybersecurity and now I could actually talk to people. I'm like, listen, this is what's going on. This is why we're doing it. And don't worry about it. If you need me to unlock a certain thing that you're doing, let me know and I'll get approval for that. So those things are very important. I just wanted to say that.
So you made that's perfect. So you made the jump straight from help desk to cybersecurity. So so I'm just gonna get rid of this elephant in the room that this is always hanging out there. So first of all, I appreciate, and getting certifications is hard work, right? I've been there. I did it back in the day. I don't chase certs anymore, but getting certifications are hard. It's a lot of work. I'm not against it. I'm definitely for it. The only part about certifications that I'm against, right, is people getting those certifications just because someone told them that they have to have them to get X, Y, or Z job. And that's absolutely false. There are some corporations out there that you absolutely have to have a master's for a certain position, or you have to have a degree, or you have to have these certain certs. There's no doubt those are out there all over the place, right? All you have to do is get on LinkedIn and read job descriptions. But for everyone out there, there's more. For everyone out there that requires those things, there's even more out there that do not, right? So I'm not against certifications. I'm against people telling people that you have to have certifications. So I remember I asked you yesterday, and I was kind of being sarcastic. I'm like, oh, isn't that funny, Kev? You got a job in cybersecurity. How many certifications do you have in cyber, Kevin?
0.
Yeah, right. So isn't that funny? Because people tell us every day this can't happen. You are, and I keep saying this phrase, you are just, they say the proof's in the pudding, right? You are absolute proof of a couple things, right? Ambition, passion, and drive can get you there. But the other piece that we haven't talked about yet is branding. So tell me how, we're going to get back to the job that you're going to be doing, but so tell me, so you don't have the certifications, right? That obviously wasn't a showstopper for you, but how has branding yourself on LinkedIn, having a presence on YouTube, do you think that those things helped you get this job?
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
Can you tell me? I know we had this conversation yesterday, but I want you to tell me how.
Yes, I was on LinkedIn. I only had like 9,000 followers last year. Now I have 28,000 followers on LinkedIn. The first thing I did, like it is important, is understanding the networking part of it, understanding who you're working with, understanding people around you, understanding the genuine connections you build with people. Just try to reach out to other people, because at the end of the day, you cannot do it on your own. You have to ask for help sometimes. Sometimes you got to ask for help, and that comes with learning and stuff like that. So I wanted to figure out what I'm going to do. What's my next security role going to be, right? Because security is so big, right? It's over 50 plus jobs, and I don't know what I wanted to do. So I'm looking at different jobs and stuff like that. And I joined a lot of different events. So a lot of it has to do with you putting yourself out there, because nobody knows who you are. You have to really put yourself out there. So I put myself out there. I literally just jumped and just threw myself in the pool. That's it. That's literally what I did. So I went and I started joining social events. One of them being AWS. So I joined the AWS Summit. That's one. I joined an event for Philly. I spoke for Microsoft. I've been just putting myself out there and just really putting myself out there. And that's what really helped me get noticed, because nobody knew who I was. And oh, this guy's trying to get into security. And then everyone was messaging me, like job recruiters were messaging me like crazy. Like, oh, I see you have a YouTube channel. Oh, this is pretty cool. To help us IT support. Oh, you have a LinkedIn account. Oh, this is pretty cool. What you're doing here. And I got reached out by job recruiters. Oh, do you want to work for IM roles? Do you want to work for a SOC? What do you want to do? Right. Yeah. So I branded myself so much that I had people reaching out to me versus me reaching out to people. So that branding part is extremely important. And I tell people that you really got to go and put yourself out there and see what happens. You never know what might happen if you put yourself out there. That's what I did. At the end of the day, that's what I did to get this job, because my manager, I'm not sure my manager like watching this video, but my manager reached like literally, he liked my personality. He liked that I help people on YouTube. He liked that I help veterans. He liked that I'm giving back, right? I'm actually giving back, and I'm helping other people. He didn't care about my tech skills. He just hired me because of my personality. So the fact that I'm actually helping people is very important for him. He likes that. He appreciates that. So I'm always all about giving back, and those things help you out along the long run. I guess it's just karma, you know?
You're absolutely right. So a couple of things you said. One, giving back to the community. I'm telling you now, and you know this, and for the people watching, if you give to the cybersecurity community, tech community, or whatever community, whatever field you're in, if you give, right, I promise you will get more back than you gave, right? And that's proof. Kevin proves that. He's given so much this past year, and he has asked for no return, right? But it has come to him in leads that he's gotten to his inbox, people knowing who he is. And let me ask this, right? So you don't have a security search, but tell me your opinion. Let's say you went out and you got 4 certifications, right? Instead of taking the time because you went from 9,000, I watched you, went from 9,000 followers this past year to almost 30,000. I'm going to get my game on because you're going to catch me up and pass me up. It's going to make me mad. But I watched you grow almost 20,000 followers in less than a year. So my point to this is, if you would have stayed off LinkedIn, you wouldn't have been active on LinkedIn, but you would have went out and got 3 or 4 security certifications instead. Do you think you would have landed that job?
No.
No, absolutely.
No,
it is about getting yourself because no matter how smart you are, no matter how many certifications you have, and go get those, for people watching, if you want to get those certifications and a job you require and or a job you want is requiring it, then go get them, right? But I tell people all the time, I'm going to send you down 2 paths in parallel. One path is a skills knowledge path, learning as much as you can. Second path is the branding path. So the mistake people make is they learn all the skills. And when they feel like they're ready, now all of a sudden they say, okay, now I got to make people know who I am. But they've wasted time. You should be going down that path at the same time. Even for those, and Kevin can tell you this, even for those that are just getting started in this field. Like, I'm sure there's people in this room that have their Security Plus, right? That might not have gotten a job in this field yet. Well, give back to the community. Tell people what you've gone through to get that Security Plus. Help them out. At any level of the game, you can help people out with the knowledge that you have, right? So just like Lester says, don't hide in the cave and dig deeper, right? So you have to go down both paths at the same time, gaining skills and branding at the same time. So here's the fun part. So you didn't have your certs, right? And I'm sure in your interview you were nervous that you were going to get beat up. Tell me about the interview process. Tell me how it went.
Yeah. So I had 3 interviews. One was an email interview. I did well on that one. I just knew how to answer those questions. The second one was an actual Zoom interview. And that Zoom interview, man, that guy messed me up. He turned me to shreds. That interview went. I thought that interview went really well. Really bad. Really bad. Like I had an interview. I'm like, man, I'm not getting this job. Definitely not getting hired for this role. A few days later, and it was just a waiting game, right? A few days later, they called me for a second interview, and then they're like, okay, we're coming for that. I'm like, I thought I did bad on the first interview, and then no, apparently he likes your personality. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I got called again for a second interview, and The second interview I did really well. The second interview, like I was on point because I didn't want to feel like how I felt from the first interview. Like I had that you get imposter syndrome, right? So I was getting imposter syndrome in security because I don't work security.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
I actually prepared this time for the second interview, and I actually took the time to learn what they're asking for in the job description. And then when I went for the interview the second time, I did really well. I'm like, oh, okay, I know I kicked butt, and I did really well in this one. And then after that, I got the job. After that, I got offer letter and everything. So
Were you surprised?
See what happens after that?
Yeah, were you surprised when you got the offer?
Yes, I was very surprised because like I don't do security. Like I said,
Yep.
I'm not a security person. But the manager, he said straight up, he said, I can teach you the tech skills. I could get a garbage man from outside the street and teach him cybersecurity. All I would care about is your personality. So that's all I care about. Are you someone that I could work with? Are you going to be an annoying pain in the butt with us? I don't want someone on that team that's like that. So your personality is different. Like you actually like to be around the room. You actually like to interact with other people. You have soft skills. We could teach you the IT stuff. I'm going to make you a cybersecurity guy. Don't worry about that. I just care about your personality. It's very important. So that's what it was.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. That's fantastic. The story. Let's take 2 minutes, and I have more I want to cover. But if anyone has any questions, let's take 2 minutes and like shoot them at us, because we will definitely try to answer them. I guess while they're coming in, I'll just ask you another question real quick while people are typing their questions. So you mentioned imposter syndrome, where I struggle from it, right? So I've been in this field for 25 years. I currently serve as a vCISO. I never went and got a vCISO certification. I always wonder, am I qualified to do this, right? So how have you used that? How have you managed imposter syndrome, even in help desk, right? And to get this position, how have you kind of been able to leverage imposter syndrome or to get through that?
Me, I'll be honest with you. I reach out. I ask for help. If I don't know something, I always ask for help. It doesn't matter. And I'm gonna drop some gems here because I reached out to you. That's one. I reached out to InfoSec Live with Simon. I reached out to them, and they were so helpful to me. Like I reached out to people in cybersecurity, and they like literally like I talk about this. If you give back, people will give back to you. So I literally reached out to people. People are like, oh, Kev, you need help? You need help? Oh, okay, we'll help you. Come here, we'll help you. Come here. Wait, what do you need help with? I'll teach you how to do this. So,
well, yeah, because you are helping people all the time. So it's just like a no-brainer. Like when Kevin asks for help, like take a second and help the guy, because he literally spends his entire life helping other people. So what about the drive? Because you weren't driving, but you were commuting every day for your job. How much are you going to commute? When do you start?
Start on the 9th.
So you have a nice little break here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a break.
So how much are you going to be commuting?
Not anymore. I'm remote.
Dude, how cool is that? If you were to offer one piece of advice for those that are getting ready to give up, right? Because that normally when people reach out to me, they are at their wits' end. They're almost ready to give up, and then they'll reach out to me for help. What would you tell people that are just getting ready to give up?
So I made a LinkedIn post on this, which got like 120,000 impressions, because I made a post on it about rejection. So, and I'll tell you a story actually. So I went when I was brand new to IT. I started out IT. I wanted to get my first job in help desk IT support, and I had 150 rejections before I got my first job in IT. And I kept going and going and going and going. And I had a hiring manager. He laughed at my face because you don't qualify for anything. I'm not going to hire you, right? That's just one person. And it's discouraging, right? And I had another person. They interviewed me, and they asked me all technical questions that have nothing to do with my resume, nothing to do with the job posting. Like technical questions are outdated from like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like what is a SCSI drive and all this crap, right? Like just like makes no sense, right? So then I had another interview where I went and joined the call, and the manager or whatever, he never showed up, right? So it's just like all these rejections you get. It's just for me, it's gonna make you stronger. You gotta have like the energy and the willingness to just not give up. That's extremely hard. I know it's extremely hard. It's happened to me I have a YouTube channel. I have a big LinkedIn following. It's happened to me. It's going to happen to you as well. So don't give up. Keep applying for jobs. And I tell everyone, this is very important. I'm going to tell you right now, this is very important. Tell everyone, if you're applying and you're spraying and praying, that's not going to do anything. Don't do that. Don't spray and pray. That's one. Number two is, if you're applying and you're not getting any jobs or calls or anything, you got to take a step back and just look at your resume. The resume part is very important. Take look at that resume. There's something wrong with that resume as to why that one's calling you. That's another thing. Now, if you're getting the interview, this is another thing. If you're getting the interview, but you're not getting the job, they don't like your interview questions. They don't like how you answer the question. So you have to take a step back again and then look at that. Look at how you're answering the interview questions. They probably don't like your answers.
You're right.
So all these things are important.
I tell people, taking a step back sometimes, looking at your situation from a 30,000-foot view can be more rewarding. It can be time well spent than just spraying and praying. And my whole thing about spraying and praying, if you are spraying and praying and filling out endless applications, then you're definitely doing it wrong, right? Because the goal for like everyone that I mentor, and I think you're the same way, everyone that I mentor, my end goal for them is that they're not filling out a single application because they got 2 or 3 leads a day coming to their inbox because they've gotten themselves out there on this platform, right? And I've talked to recruiters this past year, and I asked them, right, if you have 10 people and they're standing in a row and they'll have the exact same experience, right? What makes them stand apart from, how are you gonna choose? And they say someone who's personable, someone who stands out, not because of a technical skill, but someone who can just brand themselves, stand out from the crowd, right? Spraying and praying is definitely not, if you're going that route, stop, just stop, step back. And I tell people this all the time. If you treat LinkedIn, if you treat this platform like a career for 3 to 6 months, it will feed you for the rest of your life. And that's absolutely true, right? But you can't get on this platform and, I would say 80 to 90% of the cybersecurity / tech community at least has an account on LinkedIn, right? Many of them are here. And as I used to say, I still say this, word of mouth is the best means of getting the word out there anywhere. The only thing that's changed, it was that way 100 years ago, but the only thing that's changed is word of mouth is still the best, but now for our field, this platform is our word of mouth. So, there's nothing better than just, I always tell people, LinkedIn to me is like the largest networking event. You can just go and shake hands with as many people as you can. And I guess it's the extrovert in me. I always find myself running toward the center of the room, trying to shake hands with as many people. I want them to remember me when I left the party, right? I want to be the fun guy. I never am, or the funny guy, but I want people to remember me. So if you do that with this platform, just like you, that is absolutely what's helped you, just getting yourself out there. I've seen pictures of you every time you went and spoke at an event, you posted a picture, right? And, you were just always out there. So Brian has a question. Maybe we can answer this one together, but I'm going to aim it toward you first. So top 3 things you would advise a person from help desk to get into cybersecurity without any certifications. Can you take a stab at a couple of those?
Yeah, like I said before, one of it is going to be LinkedIn branding. Fix your LinkedIn profile. Make sure your LinkedIn is tech related. Make sure you customize your LinkedIn URL. You know how you have your URL for your name. You can customize that. Yep. Make sure you add project work under the feature section. Enable the feature section. Make sure you put tech related words and that are like keywords that they could find you on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is always going to be one. Like that's very important. LinkedIn is extremely important. I'm not gonna say it's not, because it's helped me get 2 jobs actually. So I work in security, but I'm also a trainer as well, and that's because I'm on LinkedIn. So that's gonna be my advice for you. LinkedIn is one. The other thing is just reaching out to people. Reaching out to people is another thing that's extremely important. Like for example, like I'll give you a real life example. We have a lot of cybersecurity platforms like InfoSec Live. We have Cyber Mentor Dojo. We have Cyber Jobs Hunting. We have Cybersecurity Central. We have all these free platforms. I would take advantage of them. And there's also free security platforms for training as well. So I would take advantage of all the free resources before you do anything else. That's number 2. Number 3 for me is going to be join social events. Like I'm going to keep saying this because nobody does this. They're scared, but join social events. Like if you're gonna go to AWS event, go to AWS event.
Yep.
They have an event going on here in New York in like 2-3 months. I'm going to that event. So join events because nobody knows who you are. Bring a copy of your resume and then just go interact with hiring managers. So go talk to people that are hiring right now that are in those events. So that's something that I recommend you. Those are the 3 things I recommend you do.
I think number 4 is what Kimberly says, the KevTech Udemy course that you wrote. I think that could be number 4 as well. So Nico made a comment here that I like. She goes, "You're always selling yourself on LinkedIn, regardless of your role. And less than 10% of people have a notable personal brand. Start today and you'll stand out." She's exactly right. And I tell people this all the time when I'm mentoring, whether or not we are in business or have a job or whatever we're at, whatever point of life we're in, we are all sales people, right? Our job is to learn as much as we can, right? Learn skills, try to be different, but then we then have to sell those skills to an employer, right? Or if you have your own business, to clients. We're salespeople, whether or not we like it or not. If you're not a salesperson, you can never get a job. You had to sell yourself in the interview you just did. You had to sell yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had to do that. So when people get rejected, because you talked about that earlier, rejection hurts. Like, it's not fun. But think of salespeople. Salespeople, if they're making 3% sales out of 100 people, that's a good number for them, shooting 3%, right? Well, in our field, it's really the same thing. If I do 100 interviews, but I get offers for 3 of them, that's pretty good. So we have to think of ourselves as salespeople to be able to create our own personal brand. People don't, and even if you have your own business, people don't buy products from logos. They buy products from people that they trust, right? So the worst thing you can do on the LinkedIn platform is try to sell a product, right? Try to advertise whatever it is that you're selling. If you just put yourself out there and you're trying to help people and you're trying to help them get to where you are, or help them, maybe struggle less through their journey, just by doing that, people will gain trust in you and they will buy whatever product that you're selling without you even having to mention that you're selling. Does that make sense?
No, I 100% agree with you. That's very important. And someone just said project work. I agree with that as well, because I have, and Mike, you know me, I have a YouTube channel, I have a Discord. I have examples of people getting jobs in IT with no degree, no certs, just project work, working in help desk IT support.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And we're not saying, and neither of us are saying, don't worry about certifications, because they are important. But I think the reason I get so caught up on this, because I think some people think that I'm against certifications. It's absolutely not the case. Here's where I get burnt, right? Is that I talk to people there, I talked to a woman last week she's working 2 jobs, right? She has kids. She's trying to put herself through as much training as she can, barely making it. But, someone told her she has to get this cert, that cert, and that cert. And so she feels that she has to spend what she doesn't have to go get these certifications so that she can magically get a job. And I told her, and I worked with her, said, you don't have to do that. That's not the way that you have to do this. So for me, that's what hurts me, is that when I see people struggling and they're paying for all of this stuff that they can't afford to pay for, when really, if they just put their time into gaining skill, try Hack Me, right? It's free, or I think the most expensive plan is $10 a month. Try Hack Me and learning from others around you, like, surround yourself with people that you can learn from. Yeah.
Yeah, and if someone said that you could get Microsoft Certs for free by doing their training, I agree with that. That's an option there. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. You can get Certs for free. I think I just put out a link a week or 2 ago on Qualys, right, that would walk you through all kinds of stuff, and you could actually get certified through, and it was free. So gobble up all of that free training, that you could get. So with that said, I'm going to interject this. If you aren't following Kevin on YouTube at this point, or LinkedIn, do that. Have his name up there at KevTech IT Support on YouTube. And of course, connect to him on LinkedIn. What's funny is we were talking about this morning before we went live. No matter where you're at in your career, there's always something to learn, right? So, you've reached out to me a few times this past year. We've talked a lot about, helping you grow on LinkedIn and stuff like that. Of course, I started a YouTube channel. Who's the first person I reached out to? I had like one subscriber. I think it might have been you.
Yeah.
I'm like, Kevin, how do I do this? What do I need to do? Reach out. Like, reach out to people no matter what position you're in. If there's something that you're struggling with, that I will say the cybersecurity community as a whole, like, look at the comments in this room. And these are people that are around all the time. Like, I know these people, and Kev, you know these people too. They're always here to help other people. Like, we're here. Reach out. Like, we're definitely willing to help. And I promise, if you can break that barrier of just reaching out, right? If you're afraid to reach out, just do it. And I promise it'll be valuable. Sure, you're going to send messages and some people won't get back to you. You might have to send Kevin and I a couple messages because our inboxes tend to get buried. Messages go down pretty quick. But anyhow, Kevin is. Yeah,
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say it doesn't matter. So if you guys get anything from this video today, because I know people are gonna, and I'm gonna put time codes on this on YouTube. But if you anything I say today, doesn't matter if you're help desk, IT support, if you're a CEO, a CFO, a CIO, doesn't matter what your title is, don't be afraid to ask for help. People will help you if you reach out for help. People will help you. You got to reach out, though. Nobody knows what you need if you don't say anything.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We both have people reach out to us from all levels, people aspiring to get into cybersecurity or people that are, CIOs, CEOs. Like I've worked with all kinds of people. It doesn't matter. And like, look at these comments. People are here to help. I have people messaging me now willing to give out free certification courses. So I mean, it's just what it's about.
I had one of the guys reach out to me that's a sysadmin. He gave me try hack me vouchers, and I gave them out like a few days ago, and I didn't even ask for it. I'm like, I don't want this. He's like, no, it's for you. Give it out to the community because you're trying to help people. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Well, is there anything else you want to add to this? Anything that we didn't talk about at this point? I guess we could maybe try to take a couple more questions. I don't think I've been doing a really good. It's hard to keep up because there's
we have 95 people on LinkedIn and we have like 92 people on YouTube.
I know. I need to do a better job. Looking. So if you have questions, feel free to to reach out. So if you guys are trying to figure out what to do on LinkedIn, I'll just answer a couple things here to help people out. And I
post your socks. Post your socks, Mike.
Post. Always post your socks. I got my crazy ones on today. They're always crazy. Just be yourself on a platform. My mistake when I joined the platform or when I first started getting active is I still do. I envy so many other people, right? And I wanted to be like them. But for me, that was hard, right? So I had to just figure out like who I was, you just gotta like be yourself. So on the platform, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to post a selfie. And Kevin's really up to his selfie game over the past year. I've been picking on him about it, but just put yourself out there. It's certainly not going to hurt. And Kev, if you don't mind, I've seen a couple of people ask if you want to put our YouTube channels in there for people to follow. Or you're already a step ahead of me. So again, just real quick advice on LinkedIn: engage. Right, everyone worries about what to post. Like if you're trying to build your personal brand, engage. If your posting game isn't working, if you're not getting traffic, stop. It's like we said about earlier. Take that 30,000 foot view, engage with people. Pick 5 or 10 of your favorite people and follow them and engage with their content. Because some people that post get tons of traffic across their posts. So engage with people like that. And 9 out of 10 times, they will always engage back with you. So engage with people, connect to people. Don't make the mistake of worrying about who you're connecting to or what title they have. I connect to people that are aspiring to be in cybersecurity, CEOs, CIOs, whatever they are. I want to engage with them. So could you offer any other advice there for that, Kev?
No, like I always say, like you gotta reach out to people, engage. I'm getting like 1,000 messages right now, but yeah, reach out to people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I know what it's like to struggle and like I said before, like you guys know, like I come from a restaurant background, so I didn't know what a mouse was. I didn't know what a PC was. So you always gotta ask for help. Like always ask for help. Like you don't know Like there's so many free the problem with this, Mike, also is that there's too many free resources. That's the other problem, is that
I know
people get overwhelmed with resources, right? So
and I'll add this too. So, and I run into this normally, if I'm doing a mentoring call and I do a follow-up a week later or a couple weeks later, here's what happens is, I'll give someone a plan, or you'll give someone a plan, and they'll come back and they'll say, well, I was doing your plan, or I was doing whatever I decided to do, but someone over here told me I shouldn't be doing that. And this lady or man over here said, well, you need to do it this way. Here's what I'll say. Pick a plan, right? Pick a strategy, whatever it is. If you want to get certifications, that's great. If you want to try Hack Me, your own labs, whatever it is, right? None of that is bad. But pick a path and stay with it. Don't get sidetracked. I always say you see the horses. I'm from the country, so you see the horses going down the road with the blinders on. And I always say it's okay sometimes to put those blinders on so you can only see what's in front of you as you're trying to study and walk down your path, because everybody is going to tell you to do it a different way. That's the biggest thing that I get back from people when I do check-ins with them, is they say, I was doing it this way, but so-and-so said that wasn't the right way. Here's the thing. There's no right way and there's no wrong way. There's no blueprint to get into tech or cybersecurity. You come from a restaurant background. You were in help desk, come straight into cybersecurity, right? And everyone has a different path. So don't worry about what everyone else tells you. Ask people to help you form a plan, but then stick to that plan, right? Put those blinders on and dive in.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. The plan's very important. The other thing for me is like, I surround myself with people that are willing to learn and teach me. I surround myself with people that are motivate me or teach me and stuff like that. I don't like to be with people that are toxic or not worth my time or waste my time or like put you down, right? If you have someone like that that's around you, get them away from your circle. Please keep them away from your circle.
Yep, you're right.
The only way you learn is by being with positive people around you.
They can be totally toxic. Here's a question that says, how can one in help desk help their company with cybersecurity awareness? You answer this, and I'm sure you got a better answer than me because you've been in help desk so long.
Yep. So for help desk, like we're the front facing of IT. Like literally, we handle phone calls, we help customers, we help clients. Like you literally could do educational stuff. You could talk to your manager and reach out to your manager and ask them, can I go over social engineering, right? And talk about social engineering, and then talk about, don't click on this link, don't click on that link, don't do this, don't do that. It's all about cybersecurity awareness. Like the first person to get hit are the customers and the clients. So you have to understand how to explain that in a non-tech way, right? For clients and customers, because clients and customers, they get click happy. They just randomly click on stuff. So if you could talk to your manager and see if you could do like a cybersecurity awareness training in your company, that will definitely help you out. That'll be a skill you could add on your resume as well. So like those things are very important. Security training, security awareness, like what should we not click on? How do we report it? Who do we report it to? That's why you have that's why, Mike, you have some companies now that they have like fake campaigns of $50 gift cards. That's fake. You click on it, right? And then they have these other things, like you have this button called phishing email add-in on Outlook. So if you see like an add-in, you have an add-in, right? And if you see like a phishing email, you click on that add-in. That add-in actually reports it to your cybersecurity team.
Absolutely.
So those things are very, very important.
And watch for the guy that's coming in the door with donuts too. He's got 5 dozen donuts. It's trying to come in and drop USB drives or whatever he's trying to do. So, well, this has been fantastic, Kevin. I appreciate it. The crowd that's here, you guys, seriously, thank you so much. This has been crazy today. And we just decided to do this yesterday. This is like a very impromptu. We did not prepare for this. I saw he landed the job. I reached out. I'm like, dude, we got to do this. So thank you guys so much. Listen, we only have so much time for this live that we're doing, or this podcast, but Kevin he gets back. He's got the next 2 weeks off to answer your questions. So inbox him, but connect to this guy. Follow him on YouTube.
I know my YouTube channel. I know my YouTube community is watching, so I love my YouTube community.
I think, absolutely. Yeah, you have a fantastic YouTube community as well. I think my one YouTube subscriber is watching me. I think it's probably my wife out in the living room. So, but no, if you guys get a chance, I am also trying to grow my channel too. I am at like 1/1000th of where Kevin's at, but I'm really trying to help in a kind of a more funny, comical type way. So, Kevin, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. And I look forward to hearing your updates and talking to you and learning more from you, man. You're truly a gem in this industry, and man, this is literally just the beginning for you. So, sky's the limit, buddy.
I was gonna say that you guys just don't give up, and I'm gonna say it right now. God is good, man. I can't complain about anything. So
awesome. Dude, thank you so much, Kevin, and everybody. Thank you for every comment. It's been positive. This is I love this. I don't want to go, but I have to. So, but thank you guys so much, and have a happy new year. And reach out to either of us anytime. Take care. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Bye.
There it is.